A person is a primitive primacy who has learned to write his next genome with silicon pencil. Few billions of years ago, the first living windows appeared on Earth that gradually began to turn into cyanobacteria. Oxygen photosynthesis began to prepare an atmosphere for complex forms of life. Another billion years passed and symbiosis of bacteria began to occur. Mitochondria, nuclear DNA sexual process, and quick selection of sunshine. Here, after another 600 million years, the first fish began to evolve into various groups of animals. One of these groups was called theropods. The limbs with the fingers is the basic template of the future hand of Primates. 66 years ago, an asteroid flies to Yucatan. The death of dinosaurs occurs. Small insectivorous or prompting occupies empty niches. Paleocene. As soon as 500,000 years passed after the fall of the asteroid. Among the moist thickets of ferns, purgatory runs along the bark of charred trees. A beast the size of a modern mouse, but already with a primitive grip. Thumbs on the hind legs can clasp a branch. The sensitive scent picks up the sweet smell of fallen fruits, and moving ears a rustle of larvae in a rotten. The animal is pulled up to the clusters of small berries, bites the skin with sharpened scissors and licks the pulp. Tenacious claws lift the bark. The coin tongue grabs the lava rich in protein. If you scare the flock of termites, purgatory spreads on the trunk, drawing insects like a miniature anti-death. Fruits for breakfast, insects and spiders for dinner. Nature gave him energy for year-round propagation and laid the foundation of flexibility. Early years, thick tropics cover Africa and Asia. An ideal scene. 3 most ancient prototypes of monkeys. Altiolesius, a tiny grape thief weighing less than a home mouse. At dawn he climbs through thin branches, grabbing paws by arguing berries and soft fruits of a case palm. Hearing a rustle in the husk, he instantly pushes the bark to the beetle's larva with a lobby tongue. Tylodina, the animal on a long-eared plus. He jumps along the vines like a lemur. A sharp jump into the crown of a flowering tree. A quick strip of nectar, then a swift throw behind a moth frightened by its own wing. Arcus Eve is 3 inches tall, but with the eyes of the owl. And he hangs clinging to the hind legs, and like a laser, fixes the dragonfly against the background of the moon. Simultaneous separation of the hands and lightning odor capture. Dragonfly does not even have time to wave his wings. In the morning, Arcusibas replaces the menu with a juicy fig serving precious calories. Overnight, the overgrown man in deltas of the late Yes magazine offers 3 ancient monkeys their own culinary niches. 35 million years ago, Catapithecus lives on the territory of modern Egypt. Only 600 grams of mass, but already with incisors like a lute at dawn. He hunts along the vassals where cicadas spend the night on the leaves. A quick throw with palms, tweezers, and insect is swallowed. Then Catapithecus tears bark of swamp figs and licks sweet latex, compensating for moisture in a semi-desert climate. 30 million years ago, Egyptopithecus appeared. His body looks deceptive. It weighs a lot. He is strong and powerful. Root teeth. It slowly forced the upper tier, looking for the masked fruits of ancient ficus. The jaw squeeze the fruit. The juice flows, the pulp is crushed. Between meals, the monkey scraps the bark in search of larvae of beetle. This is a protein bonus to a plant diet. 21 million years ago, on the territory of Saudi Arabia, Sudaneus lives. It looks like a cross between a monkey with a macaque. Long limbs through the body into a series of jumps. Paws break acacia pods. Having crushed them with fangs, Sudaneus licks the sweet pulp and mucous membrane that protect the plant. The tide brings heavings crab. He grabs one thing, a stab on the stone, and the shell cracks. Early Miocene of East Africa. 20 million years ago, forests soar from dew and solar pair. Kenya proconsul. Monkey without tail but does not yet know how to walk on the ground. On thick branches he moves like a four-legged choreographer. The frost feel the branch. The rear ones are already stretching to the next. Having discovered a cluster to figs, proconsul grabs the branch with footsteps. This is upside down and plugs the most ripe fruits upside down a lot under the bark. The claw pulls the bark, the lobe tongue shoots at the protein juice. Moritopithecus is demonstrating the first rudiments of direct suspension. Tightening monkey hangs on the front paws with free legs. Pulls the flexible branches of a cage. The teeth cut off a young leaf rich in fiber and calcium. Grasshopper is hidden in the foliage. Moritopithecus throws it into his mouth with a ledge of fingers. Under the moon he descends to the ground and, muttering, collects the fruits that fall out while the predators are asleep. Spain 20.5 million years ago in the half-covered fog of bay forests. Catalonia rummages the summer city. Pyralopithecus low is about 35 kilograms of weight, but the stocky male clings to the smooth. The ancient laurel with his palms. A wide chest and little worn allow you to deeply inhale. In front of heavy jerks up. Its goal is a fruit with a maximum glucose content rising. He feels the salty smell of a thunderstorm and knows that ripe fruits were knocked down by hail. Pyralopithecus passes into the 4-point stand on the thick branch. The fruit bump with two hands and breaks on an ultimate glass of bitter resin. He lifts the bark with his claw and with his thumb. Almost a modern look pulls out a larva. Fruit plus fat. Ideal energy cocktail to feed the cub. Pressed to the wool on the female's stomach. Dryopithecus found in France 11 million years ago. Dryopithecus this heavy up to 45 kilograms of weight. Fruit king with lemon yellow enamel. The forest of the south of France. Then is the subtropical reserve of figs, honey and hibiscus. Drio enjoys a systematic robbery tactic. In the early morning it passes with crowns until the sun is off. And the juices have left the fruits, and into hours it removes most of the crop. He wraps a cluster with his palm, tears off 3 or 4 ficus and folds it in his pocket. But at noon when the heat is strangled, Dryopithecus predator, he descends to the stream where the semi-ton river crab, pot in frozen silt, putting his hand under the stone. The monkey take out a crab and hits it on the boulder, breaking the shell. He doesn't need protein. A female with a newborn receives a pulp, a male reputation together with crabs. The production includes Sternotherus turtles' eggs. Dry sand is swept away by the paw. The shell is cut with sharpened scissors. Urinopithecus macedonicus. North Greece 9 to 7 million years old. Urinopithecus lives on the border of the forest and savanna, where the bushes cross with dry beams. Is with a thick enamel coating. Speak of a heavy diet. An evening transition to the thick of Acacia grubbonica. The separation of heavy hard pits. The splitting of powerful premolars. Sweet juice is not enough. But after the drought season, this is calories that no one will take away. But there is also a hunting for patent. A Urinopithecus flips stones in dried channels, scooping up salt with his paw and macerates. Adhering to them, minerals help neutralize tannins of acacia. A Urinopithecus finding the carrion of the gazelle, tearing the tendon with fangs, crush, taking out the remains of the bone marrow. The Nuvitius Mosby Bavaria. 11 million years ago. Legs are adapted to walk through the branches, but the hands of the chain. Hunting shift occurs at dusk. Forest fireflies that attract night moths. The Nuvius selects A with a wrist, thick clings with his feet and throws out network of the fingers. A jerk cotton and a bloodworm in the palm of your hand. This breaks the young bamboo escape, puts his lips and sucks a watery core, finishing electrolytes. After 20 minutes the bamboo will begin to harden. Pyronius manatee Greece. 10 million years ago, Baronius is similar to dwarf, only 15 to 20 kilogram, but with long hands of a wedge cross-section resembling a flying brush. Living along the coast of the Gak, he gains height along the slope of the pine, then stretches on the branches, leaning his back on the trunk, and makes a sharp side climb to the neighbor pine tree, collecting the tarry kidneys and larvae of the pine sauroid. But its main innovation is, when small Larus seagulls sit on burning boulders, Baronius tears a flat pebble and throws it on top bird and knocking out the just caught fish from the beak. Falls on the sand and the monkey takes the gift of the sea. An internal analysis of microcracks on the shoulder showed high loads from shots, and indirect argument in favor of such tactics. Chad 7 million. Preventive cold of Sahel. Busy savanna is broken by rare swamps, where sedge stores the last moisture of the season. The Sahelanthropus male stretches a flat face over the grass. The occipital hole is already closer to the center of the skull, which means that the head hole human vertically. On the forelimbs he approaches the trap bush, grabs a handful of fleshy fruits filling the cheeks. Then he straightens, walks with two legs along the shallow puddle, where the toads of the traps he swarm. A crunch of small shells is heard. Today menu, sugar plus protein. This is an all-on conditions, where the saber predators rule out at night, and there is little food in the afternoon. Kenya hills to get 6 million years ago. The slopes of the escarp in the morning throw long shadows, or in growth with modern chimpanzees rises on strong femurs. Their spherical heads are already suitable for confident bahia. First a two-legged rise to the parking of the pastry, whose podocarpus archers or orin quickly collects the remains. Sharply stands on all fours. A daring jerk to the acacia trunk. Nightly cathodids are swarmed in the bark. Long fingers pick up insects, until the bitch surrender under the weight of the body promotion. 70 nuts like seeds, 30% of large insects. This is a remix for muscle training. Ethiopia 5 million years ago in the Mosaic Gallery. Forests and open fingers. Artie walks on half-bent legs, but these still clinging to a thumb. With a thumb, take the morning root of the female. She bends the fifth branch, breaks fruits but eats only the pulp, spitting the seeds under the root. Stone is broken by the macroterms termite. The sticky tongue and tenacious fingers collect insects. Protein gets the cubs. Our X with a two-legged step crosses the stream along the fallen barrel. There, the grass thickening and the frogs of proprietary Chadina are hidden. One lightning move of the hand, and amphibians disappears into the mouth. Orthopedics combined with dexterity and ground economy. 50% fruits, 25% insects. 15% small amphibians, 10% tubers. Such a hybrid diet allows you to survive climate fluctuations when the forest retreats and the savanna occurs. In the next video, we will continue to talk about human evolution. Did you like the video? Finger up and leave the comments. Subscribe and do not forget to press the bell. Was not to miss new and interesting videos from the Real channel. Unreal.